deadlifts. Deadlifts aren't terrible. It's a great exercise.
And on raw stimulus, deadlifts are awesome.
Awesome.
But it's a lot of fatigue.
The deadlift is a great exercise and it's one of the 3 big compound lifts you're recommended to do as a beginner. But I have a love-hate relationship with it. I haven't programmed with it since my early days of training, and I only do it if I have a deadlift specific day, which is once in a blue moon. They just don't agree with me to be doing them all the time.
For muscle growth, which is what this whole video is about, range of motion matters.
Absolutely.
And the deadlift is not a very high range of motion exercise.
Mike's right, so when you're thinking about muscle growth and hypertrophy, the deadlift isn't usually at the top of the lift, although you do see those powerlifters who are super strong and super big at the same time. So the deadlift does lack in the range of motion, and because of this, the muscles aren't being stretched enough to promote muscle growth.
The deficit deadlift is. It's probably better to extend the range of motion. That means letting your back round for higher rep sets, like you're seeing in some of these demos.
So with the deficit deadlift, you're standing on either a plate or a box. This gives you that extra height, allowing you to get that deeper stretch at the bottom of the movement. However, I do have a slight issue with your back rounding slightly. If you've got a tight and weak lower back, glutes, or hamstrings, this could be a problem. Because these muscles are weaker because there's an imbalance, these muscles might overtake in the lift and it might become really uncomfortable. So I wouldn't be going too crazy on the deficit if you've got weaker lower back, glutes, or hamstrings.
The deficit deadlift checks a lot of boxes, which is why we recommend really giving some thought to at least trying it. Slow on the eccentric, gentle touch.
To be honest, when I think about the deadlift, I don't necessarily think about the contraction, especially a slow controlled negative. I view the deadlift as a powerful exercise. You want to get that weight up and down as fast as possible. I understand there are so many benefits to doing the deadlift, but I'd much rather take this exercise away from my program and just focus more on isolation movements, which will help muscle growth.
Ease in, start with sets of very manageable 10 to 15 rep loads. Is it brutal? Yes. Is that what you want? Yes.
Yeah, it makes total sense for Mike to say 10 to 15 reps. The deadlift is such a taxing exercise, and the last thing you really want to do is load up the weight and really blow out your back. So just choose a weight that you're comfortable with, which you could rep out, and this completely reduces the risk of injury. So deadlifts, love them or hate them? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
So you might consider replacing your cable tricep pushdowns with easy bar behind the neck overhead tricep extensions.
So unlike the previous exercise where you just added a deficit, this is a drastic change going from the tricep push down to the overhead easy bar extensions. The tricep push down focuses more on the lateral head, whereas the overhead easy bar extension focuses more on the long head.
The number one reason why we're recommending this replacement as an idea you could have is that the push down occupies this cultural space in lifting as the tricep exercise. And some people are doing it just because of a lack of creativity or knowledge that other exercises exist.
This is so true. When it comes to your arms, but your triceps specifically, people don't realize that you could hit them from so many different angles. And the default angle which most lifters use is using the cables, pulling it from top to bottom. But a lot of people don't realize this doesn't hit the long head of the tricep. The way how you stimulate the long head of the tricep is overhead movements.
The overhead tricep easy extension is a great exercise. Another thing about it is it allows you to engage the long head of your triceps and get a massive stretch.
Exactly, in comparison to the tricep push down, they're not being stimulated in the same way, so they just complement each other.
And we seem to find that it actually feels, so if you're having elbow issues, and this is the reason you took out, people will call it a French press, if the reason you took out most of those types of variations, this seems to feel better for a lot of people's elbows.
The good thing about the Easy Bar, there are 3 different hand placements that you could choose from, and there's no one size fits all. You choose the hand placements what are the most comfortable for you on your elbows and on your shoulder joints.
One arm rows are an awesome exercise.
One arm rows are great because you're focusing on one side at a time, and by focusing on one side, it allows you to get a slightly deeper stretch. And in my experience, lift a heavier load than doing 2 arms at a time.
Especially because they let you get that crazy deep stretch at the bottom if you do them properly, and counter rotate your body so that you're not leaning into it, you're leaning away from it and letting the back stretch out.
That stretch is key, especially if you're squeezing at the top and really controlling the negative down. This is perfect for hypertrophy and really ripping up that muscle. This is an exercise that I don't do as much as I should because it is really time consuming, especially if you're lifting a heavy load. But on days I do have a little bit more time on my hands, I do love doing this exercise just because of that stretch. It's insane.
2 arm rows And just same exercise, except not perched on a bench, just standing there freestyle, and then reaching down and coming back up with 2 arms at a time.
So with the 2-arm row, there are pros and cons. One being it saves time. You can work both the sides at one time. A con is very humbling. You can't do the same weight you're doing on a single arm row on a double arm row. So if you like to lift a little heavier, the single arm row is for you. And also that you're leaning on the bench on the single arm row, I do like the additional back support you do gain from this. This is perfect for someone like me who's suffered with lower back pain in the past.
The 2-arm dumbbell row is awesome, especially if you get a real deep stretch. And as you'll see in these demos that Jared is doing, coming up a little bit at the top and really clicking the dumbbells back towards your hips, that allows you to maintain mechanical advantage.
What I really like about this demo, it looks like his arms are completely disconnected from his torso, especially on that slow eccentric phase. It looks like the dumbbells are controlling his arms, allowing him to get that deep stretch. And because the stretch is really exaggerated, the traps and the lats are feeling the benefits, making it great for hypertrophy.
One of the reasons the 1-arm dumbbell row is so kind of popular is because of the following algorithm that most males run in the
same
gym.
one deadlift use.
Yeah, it's like input point 1, must train X muscle. Input point 2, must use as much weight as possible in said muscle.
He's not wrong. The 1-arm dumbbell row is an exercise where your ego could really get carried away and your form could really break down by increasing the weight drastically. So by replacing the 1-arm row with a 2-arm row, this forces you to choose a lighter weight, which some people may not like. If you're finding this video beneficial so far, give it a thumbs up.
Front squats are an incredible exercise for weightlifters in the sport of weightlifting that is seen in the Olympics to develop their front squat ability so that after they catch a clean, they can front squat it up.
When you see an Olympic weightlifter perform this movement, it's normally at 1 rep max. So you wouldn't necessarily think about doing a front squat for hypertrophy.
For overall leg size and leg strength, weightlifters don't use front squats. They use back squats, otherwise known as high bar squats, otherwise known as bodybuilding squats.
There are so many benefits to doing a regular barbell squat to a front squat. One, you could really load up the weight. There's a nice little meaty section at the top of your back where the bar could sit on without making you too uncomfortable. And 2, you could really do this exercise to failure because your arms or your shoulders won't give out before your quads do.
And so when we see folks using front squats for hypertrophy.
So if you're doing sets of 10 to 15 with a nice controlled and slow eccentric, leaning into that deep stretch at the bottom, trying to maintain an upright torso, by rep 6, my elbows are done, or if you're crossing this, my chest is caving, my erectors are like, hey, f you.
I've only done this exercise once or twice during my whole 11 years of lifting and it was extremely uncomfortable. I couldn't get any higher than 20 kg on each side because my shoulders and my arms just totally gived out mid-exercise. Way before my quads did.
The mechanics are the exact same for a heel elevated back squat, high bar. It's the exact same mechanics. You take the bar, you take it from your clavicle, you stop choking yourself out, put it on your traps, you get more load. You can actually lean into the technique a lot more properly, and you don't have to worry about not being able to breathe by the end of the set.
Yeah.
Exactly. Breathing is something we don't talk about when it comes to lifting because it just comes naturally. But if you hold your breath for a little too long, it's night-night. So if you've got a heavy barbell across your throat or your chest, you're really going to struggle to breathe. And to do an exercise that completely reduces your ability to breathe is just insanity.
If you are already doing back squats in your program and you need to replace front squats, but not with back squats, oh, trust the hack squat.
I love the hack squat. I would personally choose a hack squat over a barbell squat all day long just because it's kinder on my lower back. Your back is supported, you're moving in the motion of the machine. It's just so much safer. This is something which I've programmed for years and years now and probably a machine that I will continue to do so.
It's a great machine and it allows you to do that thing where you push your knees really far over your toes and stay very upright, I would say completely upright, which means that mechanically it actually does what the front squat's supposed to do, but better and with basically no limiting factors.
Exactly.
So the reason I love the hack squat so much is exactly the reason of what Mike says. It allows you to get full range of motion, allowing your knees to go over your toes. I've got terrible ankle mobility and I still do to this day. So the hack squat is just way better for me than a barbell back squat. So I don't have to worry about any balance.
There are very few degrees of freedom. You can place your feet in a position that gravity wouldn't even allow. You would just tip over in a front squat. So now that exaggerated knees over toes quad feel is something you can do even better with hack squats.
Exactly, there's no one size fits all on the hack squat when it comes to your feet placement. You can literally put it wherever you want, wherever it feels comfortable for you. So barbell squat, hack squat, Smith machine squat. Let me know in the comments what you prefer.
You want big delts. You grab 2 giant dumbbells. What do you start doing? You start swinging them around, one arm at a time. End of conversation?
So the 2 exercises that automatically come into your mind are the lateral raise for your side delt and the front raise for your front delt. As a beginner and someone who's new to lifting, you would think the pair come hand in hand with each other, but that's just not the case.
You could replace that with a good exercise.
What?
Like the Super ROM lateral raise.
To be honest, this isn't an exercise I'm not really a fan of, but Dr. Mike and Jared swear by it.
What is the Super ROM getting me that the swinging 1 arm at a time front raise isn't?
Well, first and foremost, if you want big lateral delts, the front delt gets hit oftentimes with most of your pressing and things of that nature. If you want some extra front delt work, hell yeah, that's what's up.
Your front delt is hit in compound shoulder exercises or upper chest movements. For example, standing military press or a seated shoulder dumbbell press. Or in terms of chest, incline barbell bench press or incline dumbbell press. You're getting a huge amount of front delt stimulus with these exercises. So the only reason you need to do the front delt raise or exercises specifically for the front delt if you've got an imbalance and you really want to bring it up. Other than that, it's a waste of time and energy.
But we can one-up that and take it out to the side and one-up that and do a super ROM where you're getting a huge eccentric on the way down.
And your front delt will get hit on that top end. So it's like kind of everything is better about that exercise.
So they're basically saying with the super ROM lateral raise, it's 2 birds, 1 stone. So not only are you hitting the side delt going up to 90 degrees, by doing that extra bit of movement, you're also incorporating your front delt too. But however, in my opinion, it's an unorthodox exercise and an exercise I wouldn't necessarily recommend. I'd much rather for my side delt do a cable crossbody lateral raise to really focus on my side delt, and in terms of my front delt do a plate loaded shoulder press machine or a dumbbell shoulder press, because my front delt is also going to be stimulated when I do my incline dumbbell chest press. Let me know in the comment section if you specifically train your front delts and let me know what exercise you do.
Can you do 10 other delt exercises? Yes, but we picked the Super ROM lateral raise to be a real juxtaposition to this exercise. Like, it does everything right this thing does wrong.
I do like what Mike says here, saying this isn't the one and only delt exercise you need. You can choose other exercises if you want, which I think is great advice, but there may be a little bit of a bias towards this exercise considering they invented it, and that's totally understandable. So here is Dr. Mike and Jared's top muscle building exercises. Give them a go and let me know in the comments how you got on with them. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up and watch this next video.